Quick turnaround here, and it's game week 10.
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
Awesome. So as we said, we're going into game week 10. Really quick turnaround here. We have 1 day break, and tonight the season, game week 10 kicks off. I will be at the stadium tonight, so I'll get you guys footage of Milan versus Torino, which should be a tricky game. But before we get into that, let's go over the fantasy team. So Elaine's back. Was actually still calling in from Germany, but he will be back in Italy tomorrow. The top game week purchases, Elaine. I'll go over those. You can go over the sales. It's very interesting to see that everyone's buying Simeone. Yes, he did score 4 goals. He is playing against Lazio. I think that's a bit of a gamble there, but he is on form. So let's see how that goes. Destro, Caprari, Dzeko, and Candreva. I understand Caprari, like against Milan, I was very surprised of how well he's doing. Dzeko is just a no-brainer, which I'm also moving towards slowly buying him. I just have to do some movements before. And Candreva, which, as I've been recommending in the while, I've also brought him on my team. He scored quite a bit of points this last week, so that's great. Sales.
Yeah, so let's just take a look at the top sales for this week. The top one being quite understandable. Magnan being out with that wrist surgery sees him take top spot as the most sold player this week. Arnautovic and Abram, Diaz and Juricic picking up small knocks along the way as well. Abram is tipped not to play this weekend, but he has been pushing through the ankle injury, so who knows? I might be swapping him.
This weekend, he should be back. I'm just guessing for this tomorrow.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I go weekend for match day. So for this match day, he's likely going to be out, even though he has been pushing through the ankle injuries. I would honestly let him rest this one. I also wanted to pick up Dzeko as his substitute, but I went and got rid of Rebic this week and brought back in Zaniolo. So understandable transfers this week.
Yeah, Diaz will just come back negative with COVID, so he won't probably play tonight, but he will be back for the Roma game. Looking at the formation, it seems like a bit of a mixed bag there. Once again, 2 Napoli players as Napoli held against Roma. Koulibaly and Rahmani doing quite well. Biraghi scoring 16 points, getting a goal there off the penalty, which I was kind of bummed that Vlahovic didn't take it, but he did score free kicks, so that was great. Up front, really interesting attack with Simeone, Pinamonti, and Caicedo. And then once again, we have Candreva showing his stuff in the team. So going into the league, where we have something interesting, which I actually thought about what to do if this ends up, but we have 2 people draw at the top. We have Andrea Del Fio, who stays at the top, drawed with Snorky now at 524 points each. And then third place, we have Abdullah. So these 3 are just fighting it until the end. It'll be really interesting to see. Elaine, we need to come up with what happens if randomly at the end 2 people draw, but we'll figure out that closer to the time. But well done to Andrea Del Fio and Snorky for just carry on competing really well and holding on to those top spots. Unfortunately, I have not been able to make the first page, which I came close to. I did have quite a good week. I'm at 472. We are slowly climbing up there. We have Forged in Fire, who's another YouTube video that does a lot of fantasy football, but this is the league right now. Elaine, where are you at? I think
I fell off. I had a really bad week. I think I only scored just over 30 points. So I'm right there at the bringing up the pack right at the end.
Yeah. Nice. So you've passed the 400 mark, so that's positive. You just need 1 good game. I think you should change things up. So we'll have a look at the formations and see what you're bringing to the table this week, as I've also made some changes. So let me show you what my team is like. So as I mentioned, kickoff is today. I put Szczesny against Sassuolo instead of Reina against Fiorentina. My defense stays unchanged with Karsdorp, Calabria, and Di Lorenzo. I could bring on Hernandez, but from my understanding, he's going to start off the bench, but I'm still going to contemplate that just before kickoff. Cuadrado, which I am going to probably be changing out over the next few weeks. Because I'm going to change him out, bring in another midfielder, and then go for Dzeko instead of Giroud. Milinkovic-Savic or Pedro Candreva. Up front, Arnautovic. It says here that he's doubtful to play, but he is actually going to be playing. I was reading all the Bologna news. He got a knock, but he should be fit for tonight. Vlahovic against Lazio. I'm just contemplating him being captain there, but if goals are coming against that game, and if also Lazio drop their guard like they do sometimes, I think Vlahovic will get some in there. And Giroud against Torino is a gamble here, but I was looking at the money that I had left and the strikers. He's starting instead of Ibrahimovic. If Milan are going to get goals tonight with so many people missing, it's most likely Giroud. But here's my bench. I have Hernandez, Callejon, Bastoni. Hernandez, I might play because even if Milan aren't winning or losing and they're going to need something, it's going to come from Hernandez coming off the bench. So that's an option to just keep an eye out. But that's my team, Elaine.
I might actually team.
Yeah.
I think my only question mark, honestly, would be your inclusion of Giroud, just because Juric's Torino defense at times can be really difficult to break down. Like, of course, in certain games they fall apart, like the Fiorentina game, and also on this weekend they conceded a bunch. But when they do hold strong, they're a tough defense to break down.
Yep, agreed. So we'll get your footage from that one. Elaine, if you can share your team.
Okay, so taking a look at my team, I've gone ahead and kept Silvestri in goals. I decided to not use my one change on my goalkeeper. Verona was impressive in the last game against Lazio, but just like I was saying with the Torino defense, as you can see, I do have a bit of an infatuation for the Udinese defense as well. And I'm hoping that both Torino against Milan and Udinese against Verona land up getting me points. It hasn't proved the best tactic over the last couple of weeks. When it works great. When it doesn't work, I'll end up getting about 4 points for 5 players, which is not great. Di Marco is a question that I've got. Will he be playing against Empoli is the main thing. Yeah, it does look like he is. So I'm keeping him in. His free kicks and corner kicks are very dangerous and often lead to assists. So he's staying in. Same can be said about Singo. Whereas Neutink and Bremer do offer at least 4 or 5 goals a year of headers, but for them, it's more about the clean sheets I'm hoping for, along with Silvestri. The midfield, we've got 2 similarities, being João Pedro and Candreva. We both went ahead and added him, and he paid back the favors by bagging a goal. João Pedro underperformed, and I kicked myself. As you can see, I swapped Vlahovic as my captain, made João Pedro my captain, and that came back to bite me in the ass really badly. This week, my captain is going to be Victor Oshimen, because, as I've said from the beginning of this season, the Bologna defense really does not inspire any confidence as far as I'm concerned. Zaniolo and Pellegrini. Zaniolo is looking better and better every game, and I think once he gets over the small knocks he's picking up, he'll be able to get back to full fitness. Without a doubt, my man of the match against Napoli in conjunction with Cristante. Pellegrini, bit undertone against the Napoli team last week or a few days ago, but he's had an incredible season and he's always got goals and assists in him. Went ahead and dropped, well, as you can see, my bench is more like the hospital ward at the moment. I've got Magnan out, Boga out, Abraham out, and the only lone player available being Cambiaso. So I'm going to be sneaky here, and I'm going to push Abraham to the front. If he does come on, he's a great sub to have. If he doesn't come on, Cambiaso will take his spot. So I've gone ahead and done that, and then my attack is going to be relying on Vlahovic against Lazio, and as I said, Oshimen against Bologna. I was tempted to bring in Dzeko for Abraham, but I think that Oshimen and Vlahovic are going to be big enough options coming off the bench. I mean, coming off the starting lineup right now, and I don't need another attacker. And the midfield is really where I'm hoping for goals.
Yeah, I think Dzeko against Empoli, I would have definitely maybe brought Dzeko in against Empoli, because like most of the points here are got from the strikers, and I don't know. That's something to look at.
Dzeko being tipped to start. Sanchez Martinez.
Okay, well that's good to know. So then maybe makes my decisions easier. But yeah, listen, it's a good team. I think once again, like I understand what you're going through, and it is good defenses, but those defenses are defenses that even if they win or do well games, they always
concede a goal.
High risk of conceding, yeah, and you're losing out on points there. The midfield is good. I think with midfielders that you can get points, I think you should at least, well, personally, just have different teams, because if one team performs badly, you're losing out on two positions there. But yeah, it's a good team. I like Osimhen and Vlahovic. I think that's a great attack. Osimhen being captain is great against Bologna, because they're also missing Sumuro, as you got red carded, and not Soriano. Yeah, it's Soriano.
Yeah, honestly, in my opinion, it's the weakest defense in the Serie A this year.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's a good team. Hopefully you can climb back up the table.
Fingers crossed. We can only hope.
There you have it, folks. Those are our fantasy teams for match day 10. As I mentioned, I will be at the stadium tonight. with Milan Torino. We've also been, as I mentioned before, we've been given tickets for the derby. We'll actually be able to go into the change rooms and stuff before the game. We'll be able to bring you guys footage from inside there and give you a full scope of the atmosphere of the San Siro beforehand.
Yeah, just a small parenthesis on that. Unfortunately, no chance in hell we're getting into the locker rooms with the players around. COVID restrictions making that really difficult to even get around there when the players are in the stadium. We have been given access to these locker rooms before the players arrive. So maybe we'll just go ahead and give a small talk down of each team from their respective locker rooms before the players arrive.
Yeah, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe right down here. And we'll see you again on the ping table.
Ciao, ciao.